Hello, divine beings. I want to give you a word of caution as we step into retrograde season, specifically with the retrograde for Saturn and Neptune that is coming by the end of this month, June 2024, and will last throughout the fall, and for Neptune retrograde, the winter. So let's talk about why these retrogrades, including a non-retrograde, which is Lilith ingressing into Libra, can be very troublesome for the collective, especially far right and far leftist spiritual groups that are infiltrating social media and kind of drowning out more reasonable and logical voices. So let's get into it right now. Saturn is the planet of lessons. It is helping us to become more disciplined. Pisces, the sign of Pisces, is about our spiritual connection to the divine. It also tends to create illusion and fantasy if we aren't using the power of Saturn correctly, okay? If we're not being disciplined enough to understand what kind of messages are coming through to our third eye chakra. Then we have Neptune, also retrograded Pisces. It's the 29th degree, which is the energetic degree, the most powerful degree in all of the zodiac, right? So Neptune is also that energy of Pisces, right? It's our spiritual portal, but if we don't use it properly, it can lead to fantasy and illusion. So what does Lilith and Libra have to do with this? So Lilith ingressing into Libra the same day, the 29th, I believe it is, Saturday the 29th, that Saturn retrogrades in Pisces. So Lilith is what makes us a bit controversial, what makes us rebellious, what makes us embrace our dark side. Keyword dark. And Libra is about relationship. And it can be, if it is used improperly, about codependency and filling voids. So what I am seeing around this, what it is popping into my awareness from my intuition, my downloads, my guides, is that there is a fatal attraction, an obsession with certain dark apocalyptic fantasies coming true for many people who are not guarding their third eye properly, who aren't using proper psychic protection. There are a lot of fear narratives right now concerning what will happen in the coming months as Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn, right? Societal structures are being demolished, overturned, institutions, right, are completely changing because of that Pluto retrograde in Capricorn at the last degrees, going into Aquarius again, finally, for the next 21 years, starting again this winter. So there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear right now. So when there's fear, some people tend to create a narrative that they are emotionally tied to. Even though Libra is an air sign, it is very emotional. And then Pisces is water, so it's also emotional. But there's this dark, like zealotous, if that's even a word, it's a zealot, religiosity about these outcomes that will happen amongst many in the spiritual community. And I'll give you kind of a brief narrative. I'll break it down. It is that there are certain people on this earth that have incarnated into a human being, but really they are a starseed, a chosen one. Now, I don't completely disagree with that theory, but this is where it gets dark, dangerous, and perhaps cult-like, that these people are better and more ascended than others who have decided to join the matrix. People who have a jab, people who have matrix jobs, people who, shop at certain places and, maybe drink and eat certain foods. And that can be very hyper religious. And as we head into 2025, as Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Pisces, conjunct North Node in Pisces, I feel like this, I'm going to say, death cult is increasing in popularity, and people need this narrative in order to feel whole, in order to feel like they belong somewhere. That's at Lilith and Libra. I belong somewhere. I have some kind of connection. But what the astrology is really asking us to do right now is to look into this Jupiter and Gemini, is to really use that to our highest advantage, because Jupiter is our good luck charm. Jupiter expands us. It helps us become more aware. It helps us become more philosophical. It gives us a bird's eye view. Gemini helps us think critically, study things, look at things from a very close angle and research all the pieces together in an almost unemotional way. So as these kind of narratives come in, these, I would say, false ascension, solar flash, and I'm not saying there can't be any solar flash, but the essence of a lot of these fear narratives, these fear-based dark apocalyptic fantasy narratives, are that us and them, which is demonic. It is not of Christ consciousness. It is not of godly consciousness. It is not a divine consciousness of this us versus them. It's the jab versus the unjab, this and that. It is a very ugly, ugly way of looking at others. And it is not a way of saying that people can improve. It's just that this is their doom. They've done this and that's over. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that. So I want you to really make sure that you aren't getting into these kind of fatalistic, fatal attraction, obsession, dark doomsday, cult type of mindsets, and really use your critical thinking as well as your intuition, because Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces in a retrograde as we head into 2025 with these two in a conjunction, it wants us to reevaluate our belief system. So if you are believing these kind of things, they are very toxic. They are going to put you in a freeze mode, a freeze and a fear mode. It is not too late to turn back. It is not too late to live in your highest good and your highest potential and focus on how you can contribute on making this world a better place, which is the Pluto and Aquarius mindset. If you'd like to book a reading, find out more about how these transits will affect you, by all means, go on my website, sarahashleyAstrology.com, and also to find out more about, what I do and whatnot, go ahead and like, share, and follow. Have an amazing day.